That is the new 2023 Toyota Prius, and this is the 9 most notable new things about it.
Number 1.
So as a refresher, the old one looked like that. Whoa. And again, that's the new one. Now, not only is it better looking than the old one, I mean, low bar, right? It's actually kind of cool, right? I mean, it looks good. And again, it's a Prius. And the interesting thing is, despite how different it looks, underneath, use the same platform apart from some lightening and stiffening.
Number 2.
Interior materials quality has gone up a tick. For instance, the soft text fake leather, well, it looks and feels less fake. But the big thing is that the interior is just more conventional, not just compared to the last Prius, but, well, every generation of Prius. Specifically, the instruments are no longer in the middle of the dash. No, they are now right in front of the driver, which is where they should have been from the very beginning. Also, the shifter is now on the center console as opposed to on the dash.
Number 3.
It is available with the latest Toyota touchscreen infotainment system, and specifically this 12.3-inch touchscreen that's available in the XLE and the Limited. The base model gets an 8-inch version.
Number 4.
Right, so this is a Prius. Let's talk about fuel economy. With front-wheel drive, it'll return 57 or 52 miles per gallon combined, depending on trim level. And then with the returning all-wheel drive system, it'll get 54 or 49 miles per gallon combined. And that is a 5 mile per gallon improvement, roughly, over the old model.
Number 5.
So here's the other big shocker. Besides styling, it is way more powerful. Instead of having 121 horsepower, it has 196. It goes from 0 to 60 in 7.2 seconds versus 9.8. And yeah, you notice. Okay, so it's not like, you know, an extremely quick car, but it's no longer laggardly slow. And honestly, 7.2 seconds not too long ago was considered pretty darn quick.
Number 6.
Once again, all-wheel drive is available, and once again it is the result of adding an extra motor to the rear axle. However, that rear motor is more powerful now, and in addition to adding in extra power when you're accelerating in a straight line, as well as reacting to a loss of front-end traction, say when the weather is poor, it now adds power while you're cornering for improved handling.
Number 7.
Here's a big shocker. The Prius is no longer mind-numbingly uncommunicative and boring to drive. The steering in particular is no longer hopelessly numb and inert. Now, I will say there is some numbness on center, more than I would prefer. However, it goes away if you put the car into sport mode. And yeah, a Prius has a sport mode.
Number 8.
Let's get back to the styling, because it really is significant, and a couple of key differences here. For starters, the roof, it is 2 inches lower, and you really can tell in the profile view. Now, they've also lowered the seats by about 1 inch, which means that the headroom, while tighter, is still, still acceptable. Now, with this very wedge shape, it culminates into this very aggressively raked windshield that's basically almost a single plane with the hood. Big reason why this looks so cool, but it does mean that there's pretty significant reflections from the dash onto the windshield. Now, moving away from the height, you do have cool hidden door handles up here in the back. Very neat. And then the wheels on the XLE and the Limited, they are now 19 inches. The old Prius topped out at 17s, and they look like tiny donuts. These do not.
Number 9.
And finally, besides being better looking and better to drive and more efficient and more powerful, this new Prius is frankly just more normal and less weird. And personally, I think that's going to make the biggest difference of them all.